So good morning students. So welcome to Business Studies class. So what's the today's concept? Today's concept is, so we have three concepts for today. This is first one is communication, then second one transport, then third one warehousing. So these are all the services of business. So we are in that chapter, business services. We studied the first two services, that is the banking, and second one, that is the insurance. So we studied it in our earlier class, in our previous classes. This is the last class in that fourth chapter. It is a business services. Okay, this is the last chapter for you in this chapter, in business services chapter. So in the next chapter we will study what are all the new trends or the emerging trends in the business. So this is the next chapter. Okay, continue. So first one is for today, there is a communication. This is the third business services. So first one banking, then we studied insurance. Now the communication is for today's class. Now what is the communication? So communication means what? Communication means what? It's just the exchange of views, the exchange of message, the conveying of message from one person to another person, from sender to whatever receiver. It is what you call purely the communication. So we can send, we can transmit, we can transfer our ideas, we can transfer opinions, or we can transfer judgment, whatever it may be, maybe the idea or the message or the opinion. This is called communication. Communication means what? The transferring of ideas, the transferring of messages from one person to another person. This is called purely the communication. So what is the importance of communication in the company? So in the big organization, we should have the proper channel of communication. If we don't have proper channel of communication, it's very hard to run any type of business organization. Whereas in the small organization, maybe there may be no problem, but when you come to the big organization or the large organization, we need the right or the proper channel of communication. We have to transfer the information, we have to convey the information in time to time. It's very important for judgment, for taking decisions, or for any judgment. We need proper information. For that purpose, we need the communication. So now you may ask the question, sir, what is the importance of communication? Not only in the company, even in the small company or the big company, even in the home or in your own community or your own what you call group, we need proper channel of communication. If the communication, if it has some barriers or some shortcomings, then it's very difficult to take any decisions. That means that the decisions may go wrong. So we can take the proper decision only when we get the proper information through our communication system. That's the importance of communication. Okay, now when you come to our chapter, the first you need to know what's the meaning of communication. A simple meaning, just conveying or transferring of messages or the ideas from one person to another person. Here person, I mean one person is sender, another person is at the other end is the receiver. There's a what you call the process between two parties, sender and the receiver. There's a communication. Now, so when you come to the business studies chapter, business services chapter, we have two services here, the postal services and telecom services under communication system. Okay, so under communication system we have two services here, postal services and telecom communication. Now when you come to the postal communication, so we have the post offices, maybe the what you call the branches or the sub branches or head office or the sub head office. These are all some categories divided in the postal department. We have 22 postal circles. Through these circles, the postal or the postal department, they run their activity. So postal department, they have their 22 circles, but then they have their branches, they have their sub branches, they have some regional offices. By using all their what you call department, so they are doing their work. That's the first thing, the postal department or the postal services. Now What all the work undertaken by the postal department? Postal department, they do the work of what they call financial, or they mean financial work. That's the first thing. For example, you might have heard about PPF, Public Provident Fund. Public Provident Fund. Then second important one, NSC, National Savings Certificate. Then Kisan Vikas Patra. This is the things that is the what you call work. The postal, they do this type of work. Maybe financial work. PPF, Public Provident Fund. Then we have the NSC, National Savings Certificate. Then Kisan Vikas Patra. These are the things, or the financial work comes under financial services. That comes under postal. So I repeat, the postal or the postal department, they do several activities. First one, financial services, then mail services and other services. When it comes to financial services, they do the work of PPF or the NSC or the Kisan Vikas Patra. As you know, they do some other activity also. So we can open our RD or the SB or the time deposit. Instead of that, in addition to that, they do this type of financial activity. That is the PPF, NSC or Kisan Vikas Patra. This is the first one under postal. Then second work is done by postal department is the mail services or the courier services. This what you call dispatching the goods from one place to another destination. That's what you call mail services. Then other services means some other activities that is undertaken by the postal department. Maybe the what you call speed post or the greetings or the direct post or the passport or international money transfer. These are all the other activities are carried by the postal department. That's a thing, very simple thing. I repeat, when it comes to communication, so the postal, that comes under communication services. Again, when it comes to postal department, they have their 22 circles. Then they have their branches and postal department or some other offices. By using that offices, they run their activity. The main activities are the financial activities, maybe opening of the different type of account, then doing some other work, that may be the PPF, NSC or Kisan Vikas Patra. Then they conduct mail services, that means what you call the transferring of goods by using courier or something else. That is the thing, the dispatching the goods from one place to another destination or another place. That's what we call mail services. Then third one, what is the other services? So what are the other services done by the postal? That may be the greeting post or the direct post or the international money transfer or the passport. So these are all the things maybe some other activities may be there. That is the things or the activities are done by the postal department. Now move on to next thing, the telecom services. Now then there is a second things under the communication. The first one is the postal, the second one is the telecommunication or the telecom services. You might have heard about cellular services or the fixed line services, or the very important one, that's the cable services or VSAT services, very small aperture terminal. That's a satellite based communication system. This also comes under telecom communication. I repeat, maybe the cellular, then we have some the fixed line, then we have DTH, direct to home, then we have cable services, then VSAT, that means very small aperture terminal. This is the satellite based communication system, VSAT. This is some activities comes under telecom services. Okay, that's a very simple thing, simple lesson. Okay, you can understand it very easily. Only we have two important things under communication, postal and telecom services. When you come to postal services, we have three things are there. Financial, mail services and other services. Then under telecom services we have some point here, maybe the DTH or the what you call VSAT or the fixed line or the cellular. This is a things comes under telecom services. Now move on to next concept, that is the transportation. Very simple one, just the carriage of goods by one place, I mean from the place of origin to the place of destination. I mean that's what you call transportation. So by using different modes of transportation, we have different way or modes of transportation. It may be the what you call, so by using air or the sea or the rail or the road. These are all the different modes or the ways of transportation. That's and one more thing, one more, business services. This is the fourth one. Third one, the communication services. Fourth one, transport services. In earlier class, in the previous classes, we studied two different services. That is what you call banking and insurance. That's the second one. Insurance was the second one. Third one, communication. The fourth one is the transportation. Now, next concept is warehousing. In simple terms, it's a storage house. They are storing the goods. Now, what's the meaning of warehouse? So, it's a very simple thing. When you come to warehouse, it's the unit. It's a static unit. It's a build. It may be the building. Okay, here we store the goods in the scientific way, just to keep up its value and the quality, just to avoid the what you call deterioration of the goods. That's what you call warehousing. Very simple thing. It's a static unit. It is established for the storage of goods, just to maintain the, I mean in the scientific way. Okay, so static unit. So here we store the goods in a scientific way, just to keep up, just to retain the quality and the value of the goods, then the price of the goods. That's what you call warehousing. Okay, simply we can't dump any goods in any building. We should have the proper, we should keep it in the scientific way. That's what you call warehousing. Not only storing, just storing in a scientific way. Okay, storing in a scientific way, just to what you call retain or keep up its quality and its value. That's what you call warehousing. It's a simple thing. Okay, then we have 5 types of warehouses. We have 5 types of warehousing. The first one is a private warehousing. Second one is a public warehousing. Then we have bonded warehousing. Then we have government warehouse. Then we have cooperative warehouses. Okay, what's the first one? First one is a private warehousing. It is a warehouse. So I repeat, what's the meaning of warehouse now? It's a static unit. It's a building, maybe the building. Okay, here we stock or store the goods, maybe the raw materials or the finished goods. So in a scientific way, to what you call retain or sustain the quality of the product or value of the product. That's what you call warehouse. Here we have 5 types of warehouses. First one, that is the private warehouse. Second one, public warehouse. Then we have bonded warehouse. Then government warehouse and cooperative warehouse. Okay, let's study one by one. What is the meaning of private warehouse? When we come to private warehouse, so it is established by the private company. Okay, it's established by the private company. If any company, if they are the multi-branded, if they have multiple products, then they should have they are going to have their warehouse or the storing system. That is what I call private warehouse. I repeat, it is the private warehouse. So it is owned and operated by the private people or the private company, especially those companies which have multi-branded or the multi-product, then they will have the storage system. That's what we call private warehousing. Second one is a public warehousing. Here in the public warehousing, I mean, this is a warehouse. This is it is regulated by the government. Its operations, the operations of the public warehouse, it is controlled by the government. Then license is given to the private people. Here anybody, maybe the small traders or the manufacturers or any member of public, he can store his goods for the fees, but they have to pay the fees to the payment to the public warehouse. I repeat, when it comes to public warehouse, its operation is controlled or regulated by the government, but license is given to the private people. Okay, its operations are controlled by the government, but the license is given to the private people. Here anybody, maybe the small producers or the small traders or the manufacturers or any type of people of the member of the public, they can store their goods. They can keep their goods in that warehouse. So, but they have to pay the fees for it. That is called public warehousing system or the public warehouse. Very simple one. Okay. When it comes to third one, that is the bonded warehouse. It is again a bonded warehouse. So it is controlled and operated by the government. Here, imported goods are stored. Okay, when you import the goods from other country, first of all, we have to store it in the bonded warehouse. Then, after payment of the dock dues or the payment to the port, then they are allowed to take their goods. Importer, he can take it back his goods to the personal use. That's what we call bonded warehouse. I repeat, when you come to bonded warehouse, so here imported goods are stored. The goods are purchased by the person from the other country. He imported goods from the other country, then it is stored in the bonded warehouse. So then, without payment, the importer is not allowed to discharge its goods from the bonded warehouse. That is the third one, bonded warehouse. I repeat now, this is a warehouse. Here we keep the goods of imported. So imported goods are stored in the bonded warehouse before they pay their dues. Okay, after payment of their due or amount to the dock or to the airport, then they can discharge their product from the goods from the bonded warehouse. That's the third one. Now, what is the fourth one? It's the fourth one. It's the government warehouses. It is a warehouse. It is controlled, operated, and owned by the government. Government it has its own warehouse. For example, we have Food Corporation of India, FCI. Okay, Food Corporation of India. It is a government warehouse. Then we have state corporations. Then we have Central Warehousing Corporation. Okay, Central Warehousing Corporation. These are all some examples for government warehousing. Maybe FCI. Okay, FCI. Then we have STC. Then CWC. Maybe Food Corporation of India or Central Warehousing Corporation of India. So the examples for government warehousing. Now, come to the fourth one. That is a cooperative. It's a fifth one. Cooperative warehousing. What is a cooperative warehousing? This is a warehouse. It is established by, agricultural or marketing cooperative society. This is the warehousing. This is a warehousing. It is established by marketing or agricultural cooperative society. So if they set up their own warehousing, then it is called cooperative warehousing. Cooperative warehouse is the fifth one. Very simple things. Okay. So first one, private warehousing. Second one, public warehousing. Then we have studied bonded warehousing. Here we store imported goods before payment of dues. Then we have government warehousing. Best example is Central Warehousing Corporation and Food Corporation of India. This is the example. Then you have cooperative warehousing, especially it is started by marketing or agricultural cooperatives. Okay, now then come to next thing. What are the functions of warehousing? So warehousing, they perform some activities. It is the functions of warehousing. So first one, consolidation. Now what is the consolidation means for? Consolidation means a pooling of goods or gathering of goods. So here warehouse they receives the goods from the different manufacturing plant. Then they dispatch it the same to the single consumer or the receiver. It is called what you call consolidation. Simple one is the functions performed by the warehouses. First one, consolidation. Here the warehouse, so they receives the goods from more than 3 or 4 manufacturing plant. They gather, they consolidate, or they gathers or receives the stock or the goods. So then they send it to the other party in bulk. That is called consolidation. Second one, break the bulk. Here bulk means what? It's a large quantity. Breaking means what? The splitting. The splitting the bulk. Make it small quantity. That is what you call break the bulk. It means here the warehouse they buy the goods from the single plant or the single plant manufacturer in large quantity. Then they make it as a small quantity. Then dispatch it to the various consumers or the various customers. Then it is called break the bulk. In the consolidation, warehouse they consolidate or they receive the product from various plant, from the maybe more than 4 or 5 plant. Then they gathers it. Then they send it to the single person. That is a consolidation. When you come to break the bulk, here the warehouse or the warehousing, they receive the product in a bulk from the single plant. Then they make it as a small quantity. Then dispatch it to the customers. So that is called break the bulk. Now next one, third function, the value added services. So not only just receiving and sending or dispatching of goods, they perform some other services also. So warehouses they perform some other activity. That may be what you call packaging or the labeling or mixing. So warehousing or the warehouses they do some other allied services, maybe grading or the labeling or the mixing or the packaging. This is the work or the functions are done by the warehousing or the warehouses. Then next one, price stabilization. As you know, so in the market some products are not available, but they are public, they have their demand. Automatically what happens, if a product is not there in the market but demand is still there, automatically price goes up, isn't it? Automatically price goes up. It's a pure economics, isn't it? Supply and demand chain. Then sometimes it happens, we have the plenty of product in the market, but there is no demand, automatically price comes down, isn't it? Sometimes if you have the demand for the product, then we don't have the product in the market, price goes up. Okay. Then we have the plenty of product in the market, but there is no demand, automatically price comes down. Okay. The warehouses they perform the work of stabilizing the price. Stabilization of pricing. How? By controlling the supply of the product. By controlling the supply of the product, they stabilizers, they control the price of the particular product. It's a very important functions is done by warehouse. Then next one, stock piling. What's the stock piling? Yes, stock piling means the storing of seasonal product. Sometimes some goods are not required all over the year. Some products are restricted to only to the season. Okay, so in that case, the storing of the seasonal product in a warehousing, then made available when they require it. Isn't that that's the point? Okay, when the customers require it, then made it available to them. That is what you call stock piling. Simple things. So some product or some goods are not required all over the year. It requires only in some season. In that time, warehouses, they store their product in the warehouse. Then it's made available to the public or the customer when they require it. That's what you call stock piling. The next one, last one is financing. So what's the meaning of financing? Simple terms. Sometimes the warehouses, they advances the money, they lend the money to the owner of that product. Okay, here the owners of the product, they keep their product in the warehouse. On the other hand, the warehouses, they advance some money to the owner of the product. That's what we call financing. The financing function. This is the sixth function. Okay, now I repeat. First one, the consolidation. It means the receiving of product from different plants or several plants, then consolidate it, collect it, then dispatch it to the single person. That is what you call consolidation. When you come to break the bulk, here the product is received from the single person in a bulk, in a large quantity, then divide it as a small quantity, then dispatch it to the several customers or several people. That's what you call break the bulk. Then value added services may be packaging or the mixing or the labeling or some other grading work. It's some other value added services. Then price stabilization by controlling the supply of particular product. Then stock piling, that means the storing of seasonal product. Then financing, it means warehouses, they advance the money to the owner of the product. It is the last concept under chapter number 5. Okay. Now, just what you call, remind all the concepts. As I said, it's the last class under 4th chapter. It's the last class in the 4th chapter. Okay, so here today I finish so all the concept of 4th chapter. Okay, just remind me. So in this chapter we studied meaning of services. Then we studied some features of services. Then we studied the various types of services. We had 3 types of services, but in this chapter we studied only the business services. So there we studied finance or the banking services. Then we studied insurance services. Then we studied communication, transport and warehousing. These are all the 5 services comes under business services. Actually we have 3 types of services. Maybe the social services, then personal services and business services. But we excluded 2 services, personal services and social services. Just we have taken up, we took only 1 service, that is business services, that is required to our syllabus or to our chapter. This is the end of 4th chapter. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next class.